Okay, top of the hour. Let's go ahead and get started. I just shared my screen there. Thank you all for being here. No JV partners on the line right now. They could be coming in a bit here. So I'll just have to do some talking about some of the stuff that I've been experiencing here over the last couple weeks because we didn't have one last week. I was out of town. And before that, I guess, I forget what was going on, but there was a series of holidays, Easter and Passover and all that kind of stuff. So here we are back again, and the, uh, the news. I continue to be to watch the numbers as it relates to traffic building via 4 times daily blogging. And I've asked Stanley, who's on the call, to get me some of those numbers, and I don't really see any huge increases yet. Let's hope that changes. But for now, over the last year, looking at it by month, my numbers have not gone up all that dramatically, although I have been told to wait for 4 months to 6 months long, in the case of an existing website. So I'm anxiously watching to see if I get a significant rise in the number of visitors. Now, what I have gotten since I've been doing this, well, I haven't been doing it. I have been paying someone to do my blogging 4 times a day for the last 3.5 months. What I have seen, I haven't seen an actual huge increase in traffic, but I have seen an increase in requests for advertising, for all kinds of, a number of people asking me if they could guest blog. So, guest blog requests, going up, and advertising requests, which whenever anybody submits those to me, I'm always just like, whatever, not interested. So I've seen that happen. So as a result of that 4 times a day blogging, I don't know what it's doing and how these people are finding me, but it seems like those requests have gone up. So I will continue to report to you whether or not that strategy actually works. Like I said, I invested quite a bit of money right before the end of the year and gave somebody money to blog for me 4 times a day, starting on the 1st of January for 6 straight months. So if you take a look at that, that means, what is that? 4 times 30 times 6. So how many that is? That's 120, 720 blog posts. 720, no, that's not right, is it? Yeah, it is. That's right. So 6 months, 30 days, 4 times a day, 720 blog posts. And I am anxiously excited about the idea that this might produce a substantial increase in revenue. We'll see what happens. It's David's asking a question. Does your webmaster tool show more exposure for more terms? David, good question. So Stanley, that might be something you can get me, which is do your webmaster tools show more exposure for more terms? Stanley, maybe you can check and get back to me and maybe give us an answer here before the end. David, I have no idea. Good question. Have you been doing the reverse of guest posting? Are you asking any other busy sites or blog sites to guest on their audience? Haven't done that at all, Tom. My concentration has really been, what I want to do, and every time I have a conversation with my one JV partner, let me just see what else David says. I know you're waiting for the results on this SEO technique, but intuitively, what do you think works best for you? I have no idea. David's asking the question, intuitively? The idea of intuition for me is really a non-issue. There's no such thing. In fact, I was just reading one of my poker books, and he talks about people who deal with intuition versus logic. I'm a complete measurement-based, logic-based individual. There is no such thing as intuition. All I have is numbers. What I think and what I feel is meaningless compared to what is reality in terms of results. So I don't even, I don't attempt to think I know anything. The only thing I know is how to interpret data, more or less. So I'm waiting to see what those results are. But the one thing that has become really clear to me is that every time I get on the phone with uh, my one person, let me just actually, I've got the Citrix thing up here, so let me just put voice over dash training and get rid of this. Every time I get on the phone with Bill DeWeese, first off, it is an absolute pleasure. Bill is, and so why is it? So Bill is my quote best, and when I say best, I mean best performing. Put that in quotes there. In terms of dollars, JV partner. And every time I get on the phone with him, it really just reinforces to me how much I'd like to have. And I was talking to my wife about this last night. I'd like to find, one or two bills every year. And so, what is it about him as a JV partner that is so? First off, the guy is, for someone who's as big shot in his field, he's coachable. I mean, really coachable. Two, he's always positive. I mean, I just can't get off the phone with him. Number three is he is 1,000% honest. I never have to even think about whether or not he sends me a tally at the end of the month. Our agreement is at the end of the month he sends me a report of how much he's done, in terms of dollar volume, and we have an arrangement worked out, and it's a transparent arrangement because it's the same for every JV partner, and it's just unbelievable. Stanley, I can't go back to the email, so you can just give me the data. Stanley is now Webmaster Tools. I'm not going to pull up my email here, so why don't you just send me something that I can, send me something in a condensed form that you can put in the chat window. So again, Bill is everything. I wish that I could clone this guy and have so many JV partners. He's also, he listens and implements, and I guess that's being coachable. Listens and implements. And I was just telling my wife. I mean, I think that and I told him this, that in 5, I think that we're now at about 2.5 years into our relationship. About a little under 2.5 years. My guess is that in year 5, that his checks to me will exceed $10,000 a month. That's my guess. We're on track to do that right now. So, and it's literally every time I talk to him, it's fun. It's fun to talk to him. He's a great guy. He's easy to deal with. He's honest. I mean, it's just really a joy. And so what I've done is, okay, so Stanley is giving me, let's see here, 50,000 impressions. I think we needed a breakdown of the different terms, though. I think that was, David, why don't you clarify for me what we should be, is it David who asked that question? I think so, yeah. Clarify for me, Webmaster more terms, what should I be asking Stanley to get the answer that I need from him? So what is it? So with the term info marketing saying we're getting 3% click-through rate, what else should I be asking, David? I'm not really sure what that question is. So I need for you to help me figure that out. So if you can tell me what I need to be asking him so that I can show you those numbers and maybe illuminate myself on what it is I'm trying to look for here. I would assume that your question relates to the fact that I might be getting a lot more exposure in terms of different keywords and therefore getting visitors that are coming from all kinds of keywords. But yeah, let me know, and I'm just curious to see, what I should be looking for, because to be honest, I'm not sure. So Stanley, if you could tell us the number of different keywords, how many keywords we are getting clicks from, if there's some kind of a report that tells us that. Because I think that what David's point is that as, for example, I was targeting information marketing, but now I'm probably getting people coming to me from a lot of different keywords, which is important. The one thing that I have been really working on, and I think I may have shared this with the group last time, but if I haven't, let me just show it to you again. I'm doing a lot more on this Fred Personal Bootcamp site. Stanley has worked hard to create a good-looking site here in which I've got two folks, and basically I haven't been doing or scheduling as many of my traditional boot camps, but this, feel free to do something similar to this if you want. But I just want you to hear, what I asked Bill to do. I didn't give him any specific instructions. I said, hey, just could you go ahead and tell me, put a video together that I can show to other people who are thinking of working with me. I just wanted to show you this because this is, I mean, I didn't coach him at all. I just said, do me a favor and tell people about working with me. So just listen to what he has to say here.
I'm Bill DeWeese, and I am a full-time professional voiceover talent. A couple of years ago, I decided that I wanted to take my experience, my expertise, my skill as a voiceover talent, and to be able to train and teach others to do the same. And when I made that decision, I looked for the best person to help me to do that, and that person is Fred Gleeck. Working with Fred Gleeck one-on-one is one of the best business decisions that I have ever made. And if you're thinking about taking your expertise and your experience and turning it into a profitable business, I recommend that you book your one-on-one boot camp, your personal boot camp with Fred Gleeck today. Because when it comes to taking, again, your experience, your life experience, your professional skills, and marketing that, there is nobody better than Fred. A couple of things have happened since I began working with Fred just over 2 years ago. Number one, I'm making a good income, and if anybody tells you that this is a get-rich-quick overnight kind of thing, they're really wrong, and they're misinformed, and they're misinforming you. It is a business, and as such, it requires planning, and it requires real work. And again, Fred has been there every step of the way to teach me how to do that. But what has happened over these 2 years is I'm now making a substantial amount of money as a voiceover trainer and coach in addition to my regular voiceover work. And it continues to grow at a very rapid pace. The other thing that I'm very excited about is that in addition to the money that I make as a voiceover coach is the number of people. I have literally been able to touch the lives of thousands of people who are looking for the information they need to be successful as a voiceover talent. And to be able to reach and touch that many people with my expertise has been perhaps the most gratifying part of this entire experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So again, if you're looking to take your experience, your expertise, to turn it into a business, certainly for profit, but also to help other people, I cannot recommend highly enough that you book your personal boot camp with Fred Gleeck today.
Yeah, so I mean, I really don't think you can pay for that kind of exposure and that kind of a testimonial. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so that's what I've put, on that, on that site, as well as Nick Shelton's, who, if you want to look at that, but the Fred Personal Boot Camp. And it's been phenomenal. David, thank you for taking the time to do what you just did. Could you do me a favor? Maybe what I'll do is, could you email me, my email address is fredgleeck@gmail.com. I will then forward, David, your email to Stanley to try and see if next week I can get some of the data that you feel is good, necessary, and important. Because I don't think that I can copy. Well, maybe I can. Hold on a second here. Let me just see if I can. Hold on. Because this chat window is a little bit. Let me just see. Maybe I can. Okay. So here, David, I take it you don't mind if I share this. Okay, let me just do this. David, I think I'm able to do it. Watch. This is David's comment. You need to compare two different date ranges, ideally a date range before the blogging versus after, and see all the terms that came up. If the terms are similar, then there's no change. On the other hand, if different terms are being responded to, that indicates a change. You can see this with analytics too, for that matter. So Stanley, I think that David's got a good point. In other words, what we're trying to see is from the blogging, not only the absolute number of increase in unique visitors, but whether or not the number of, and we want to do this pre-blogging. So Stanley, we would want to look at a date range of, say, 3 months, October, November, December of 2012, and compare those to January, February, March of 2013. And David, correct me if I'm wrong on this, and look to see whether or not if there are more terms in which I am getting traffic from. I think that's accurate. So, and that makes sense because what that seems to be doing then, I would assume, is that you're now getting traffic from sources that you may not have been getting them from before. Now, the question then becomes whether or not those traffic sources or those keywords that you're getting traffic from are more, will produce better results, will produce, higher closing ratios for whatever it is I'm trying to sell, et cetera, et cetera. Because my goal is to, I want to get people in the front door. I want to get them into my site. So if we go to fredgleeck.com, what my goal is, my goal is, and let's see here if the pop-up comes up. But there is a pop-up. I'm not going to get it because it only comes up. And Stanley, I'm forgetting what pop-up we're doing right now. So let's change it again, Stanley, and let's make the pop-up be when people leave. Let's send them to the Fred Personal Bootcamp. Maybe we're doing that already, but could you tell me, Stanley, which one are we doing? Where are we sending people on the when people get the pop-up? Stanley's getting the data right now, by the way. Okay, David, good luck. Thanks, David. Let's see what happens. Stanley's going to take a look at that data. But Stanley, also, if you could, tell me where the pop-up that we're sending people, I think it's on exit, or when they're trying to click out, are we sending them to the Fred Personal Bootcamp or somewhere else? I think we might be sending them to get a copy of the book. By the way, just to, again, and I hate to, I love to toot his horn because he's just doing so well, but Bill DeWeese now just sent me an email this morning saying that, because he asked people to go buy the book. So notice, look at this. Isn't this cool? So notice bestseller in general broadcasting. Bestseller in general broadcasting for both the Kindle version and the physical paperback version. This is exciting to me. In fact, I think I'm going to take a picture of this and put it, you know what? I'm going to take a picture, and Stanley, we're going to put this somewhere on the site. But I really like the fact that these are both showing as best sellers. So let's take a look here. Free audio and 4-hour info products. You know what? Let's you know what, Stanley? Let's leave it like that. But can we do another pop-up that when they leave there, they get the Fred Personal Bootcamp? Might be a little bit much, but let's try it. I just want to get people to that site because it really is powerful, I think, when people see that. So anyway, this is what excites me about the work that I'm doing with Bill DeWeese. I mean, it's just really cool that I have coached someone to the point where, they've got the book, and now we've got all kinds of products that he's creating, and he's really catching on, he's really getting it. So this is exciting to me because I just, I watched the college basketball, Final Four, and I really think that, that my own making money for myself is not nearly as satisfying as helping someone else make the money. And so when Bill DeWeese can kick butt doing that, and so the books, obviously, this is not where the big money comes from, but the fact that, I almost am sort of annoyed that he's got 17 5-star reviews. It almost looks set up. So we need to get somebody to put in a 4-star and then maybe 1 3-star, because this actually, it looks fishy to me. I don't want it. You'd think, oh, it'd be great to get all 5-star reviews. Not so. I think this looks like a setup. And so I actually, would like someone to go on there and give them a 4-star, couple 4-star reviews. And then it's always good if there's one person who writes a 1-star review, because then it looks like the competition, looks like they get, sour grapes. And so I can't impress upon you enough that this is not necessarily a good thing to have all 5-star reviews. If you've got 5 reviews and they're all 5-star, fine. But once you get over 10 and they're all 5-star, people look at that and they go, this is a setup, it can't be real, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm excited about this #1 bestseller in general broadcasting. That's a big category. For his field, that is the category that he wants to be in. And of course, everything in this book is geared towards getting people to go to the site and to use him for all other kinds of products and services. So that's really, really, really good. Oh yes, I'm sorry. thank you for bringing that up. Mia wanted me to discuss that Bill had a great ghostwriter who did a great job, and so and maybe you can tell me which where should we send them. Tell me where you want me to send them, and I will do that. So tell me which email address you want me to send them to, or what site you want me to send them to, because yes, somebody who is on the webinar was instrumental in helping this become a great, looking, a great reading book. We initially just transcribed it, but then we're going to send them to, here it is, let me do it. This is the gal that did it, so please go visit her site. There it is, mia-server.land. I hope this site is up and running because I'm going to go to it now. So let's take a look at this, see what it looks like these days. There we go. So this is the person who did it. There we go. So check out her site. Highly recommend her. Was very, very helpful in this and a lot of other things. You want stuff, anything using the written word, talk to her, and she will help you out. Thank you, Mia. I was glad that I can promote that. Go talk to her and see what's going on. So again, the book there is really, it's put together for the purpose of, in Bill's case, we're not trying to make big money, although certainly we'll take it. But having this book as a bestseller in general broadcasting, both on the Kindle side and on the now, the thing that you can do, here's something you can do. And by the way, I haven't done this. He wasn't promoting the paperback, so let's just see first off where the Kindle book is in terms of its. I'm going to size down the type here a little bit. So where it sits. So notice #1 Kindle store, human radio general broadcasting. #5 in general under humor and entertainment. I don't know how we got that, but anyway. So that's good. And also look in terms. You want to look at this number as well. If I can find it here, where is that number that shows us the number of where we sit in? Let's see here. There it is. The rank is 31,230. And now, again, that's not. So this means that he's probably selling, let's just say, somewhere between 40 and 50 ebooks a month. But really, the purpose of those ebooks is to get people through the door and get them to buy all of his other products and services. So if we go back, and again, last time I checked, he hadn't really promoted the paperback. So let's see whether or not that has moved up in terms of, 6,861. So yeah, when I looked at this a couple days ago, it was at 230,000. So this is, in fact, here's an Amazon verified purchase. I received Bill's book yesterday and didn't put it down until I finished. If you're thinking about being a voiceover, this book's for you. It's only 134 pages, and Bill explained to you what to do, blah, blah, blah. It's not full of technical jargon. It's not a get-rich-quick, and there's no fluff. It's an easy step-by-step plan. This is perfect. This is kind of review we want. So again, if you want a model for who to follow, that's a good one. So yeah, Richard says 6861 is excellent. I think that was our ranking here. Yeah, 6861. That is pretty good. But again, it's a very niched book, and so this is particularly impressive in my mind that such a niche book. But again, this is Bill deserves every bit of the credit. So if you look inside here, let's just see if we go to surprise me here. So he's got. It's a very, very straightforward book. Again, everything bouncing back to voice-over-training.org. That's what we're trying to get people. And let me just, if I can go, let me see if it'll let me go to the last pages or whatever. Back cover, front. Maybe let's try the front cover. Table of contents. Let's see here. Front cover. Let's just see if we can get to where he has the bounce back offers here. So let's take a look and find out. I think we put that up front here. No, we didn't. You know what? Yeah. We should have had a number of pages displays is limited. I think there is a bounce back offer in there somewhere. But anyway, we want to make sure, you want to make sure and have bounce back offers in there. And here is page 128. Here's the back cover. I think they omitted his his bounce back off it, which kind of sucks. But again, we had a great person who did the. So here's let me for those of you who don't remember what happened here. Um, Number one is I interviewed Bill. I can't even capitalize his first name for about 4 hours in a Las Vegas hotel. Then we got it. We got the audio transcribed, and then we put it up immediately in its raw form. And then we handed it over to Mia right here, and she turned it from a transcription into a readable narrative book. And then what happened is while we were doing that, we were working with Steve at Vector. And for those of you who may not have seen me talk about this before, so he's the book cover designer. Notice he's got this book up here. So he did that. He did a great job on the book cover design. And so he's the one that did the cover design for the voiceover book. And so we had everything. I mean, again, you're not doing it all yourself. I'm jobbing, or we're jobbing it out to the various people. So Steve at, whoops, at, where's the at sign here? Forget what he's looking at. Vector.com. I would recommend him for book covers, and the reason why is that he did a great job, and he did it for a reasonable price. Most book cover designers, by the way, charge you a flat fee, and what he does is very fair. He just charges you by the hour for his work, and when it was all said and done, I think we paid under $700, less than, so less than sign here, less than $700 for the book cover. And most book cover designers, for a book cover like this, you're probably looking at a minimum of probably, I don't know, maybe $1,500. So I'd highly recommend Steve. He knows what he's doing. He's very fair with his pricing, and he'll get plenty of business from me that I send his way because he's just, it's very, very good. Great cover art. It is good cover art, Richard, and that's because I think I came up with the idea. I think I did, which is like of a match striking, and it's a microphone looking like a match striking there, as you can see. And, Steve just took the idea, found the images, and let's see here. And Stanley, here's the word from Stanley with regards to the issue that David brought up. And let's switch to that for a second. So here's Stanley's response. There's no increase of keyword listings. Here's the data. October to December, basically 42. Actually, there's a slight decrease. So there you have it, David. Maybe my money that I've spent so far for the blogging is proving to be less than positive. We'll see. Again, I was told it's going to take 4 to 6 months. I was just trying to see what would happen if we did this, and I'm still curious to see what the results are. Hopefully, they will turn around and start to look a lot better because, again, this no increase, Stanley says, none, no increase. So that's not a good sign. You know what, though? This business is such, it's trial and error. You got to try stuff. If you don't try stuff, you don't know what's going to happen. So it's worth giving it a shot. I gave it a shot, and I will continue as, we're going to do this till the end of June. And so on June 30th, and after that, Stanley, we're going to look at the data, and we're going to take a hard look at whether or not this worked. And if it doesn't work for me, I'm going to not recommend it to anyone else. But I certainly, I had confidence in the person that gave me this information. And, I remain open to the fact that this data could change. It could get better and different. So let's see what happens. Let's not prejudge. I was told it may take a while, so let's just see. But thank you all for giving me some of the feedback. You could really use that list. You know what? That's a good point. Mia, Stanley, send me the list of keywords. Send me that list in an Excel file, and I will forward it to Mia. She wants to see that list, Stanley. So if you can do that, that would be good. Can you download that? I'm sure you can in an Excel format. I will just forward it on to Mia, or if you have Mia's email address, Stanley, feel free to just do that. So that would be good. Perfect. Yeah, all of this is good. And again, everything that we do in the information marketing business is always a series of, trial and error stuff. But the one thing that is clear, and now I think I told some of the people here that Bill continues. We're now creating cloned sites. And Stanley, if you have some of the clone sites that we did for Bill. So what we did is we had a standard sort of site that we were using for one niche. So standard site for one niche, and then we're cloning it to create all different types. So Stanley, if you have those different ones that we've done for Bill, I'd like to just show people what those are. That would be good. So that would be cool if we can get those. And yeah, he's giving me 1 second. Okay, so let's take a look. What we did is Bill decided that what we're going to do is, how to get into the voiceover business as a blank. And there were a bunch of different niches. It included pastors, teachers, salespeople, speakers we did. And so what we did was we took the one site and we used the Cool Cloning tool. Cool Cloning. That's my affiliate link to the product. CoolCloningTool.com to create all these different, all these different niches that we were doing, right? So it's one of these things that we decided to do this because why not make it so that when people come to the site, the voice-over-training.org, that they will have a lot of different options. So when you go to products, it's eventually going to have, it's got a lot of these things here, but it's going to have a lot of other stuff as well. And this will enable us to see here. Okay, so we got video. Let me just put this in and just show you some of these that we have cloned. So all of these are exact clones of the original one that was speaker to voice talent, I think it was. So here's video producer to voice talent. And this might be auto start, so stop it. So, and again, this is being redone. So you see the copy is still Dear Speaker. So that is, notice the URL here, video producer to voice talent. Now the other one here is, watch this. So watch the change here. Pastor to voice talent. It will look suspiciously similar.
Hey, how are you doing?
So, and Bill has not yet changed the copy. So then here it's going to read Dear Pastor. And so the last one here is, let me just show you. So it's again, look at the change in the URL, but it's the exact same site over and over and over again using the, and so what Bill's going to do, he's going to go in and he's going to change the copy here to reflect this different niche and then change the dates. And we're going to be offering a 4-session thing. I'm going to be hosting those and asking Bill questions. We're going to do it for each of those different niches so that when people come to his site and they say, hey, I want to get into the voiceover business, but, so if you have a program that says how anybody can get in the voiceover business, no, we're going to separate it into these various niches. There will eventually be a total of, I think, probably somewhere between 5 or 6 separate niches, niche markets for those interested in getting into the VO, voiceover market, and into the voiceover business. And so Bill is really a textbook example of what we've done. So we've created a lot of product. And before long, there's just going to be a ton of different products that we're going to have. And it's going to be very cool because people will be able to get exactly what they need and want from us, separated by niche. So there you have it. Sites are not up. Yeah, I know that, Stanley. Yeah, I realize he hasn't uploaded the videos. He hasn't changed the copy. I just wanted to show people that we could clone the sites, and it'd be interesting because the cloning process is actually, it takes literally like a matter of less than a minute. So you got less than a minute, and you've got these sites that are cloned, and it's great. So it's a great tool for doing that. So, any other questions anybody else has? That's since none of the really neat to see the results for Bill. Yep, it really is neat to see the results from Bill. He's doing a lot of great stuff. Um, yeah. If you don't mind, Tom, I'll just put what your comment is here so I can read it as well. Neat to see the results for Bill, especially having sat in on webinars much earlier where you're outlining the project beginning. Yeah, it's great to see from the earlier webinars exactly what we were doing and how much how much progress we've had or that Bill's had. So it's really cool that way. So now let's see any other questions on anything, because I have pretty much gotten to the end of all the material I want to cover, because I've got no joint venture partners. They're all actually feverishly working and doing real things rather than sitting here on the webinar with me while I'm yakking to you. But I hope that's been helpful. So I don't see any other questions. We'll end it there. Thank you, folks. Same time, same channel next week. Thank you, Stanley, for being here, and everybody else. I really appreciate your being on the webinar. Tell your friends, tell your relatives to come and enjoy with us. See you next